Hello everybody, my name's Anthony Manning and I'm the Dean for Global and Lifelong Learning at the University of Kent. And today my session is going to focus on innovation in higher education, the key to meeting demand in the UK over the next few years. So what I'm going to talk to you about now is an overview of what I'm speaking about today in this session. First, I'm going to give an introduction to the background around the requirement for this innovation and the forthcoming growth in the UK from home and international students. I'm going to talk a bit about national responsibilities and the benefits of collaborating internationally and welcoming international students as well as home students to the UK. We're going to look a little bit at how we identify solutions to meet the future demand. And then there's some concluding thoughts and considerations that we need to think about to make some of these things happen and consider the challenges around the situation. So first, let's go into an introduction around this topic that I've introduced, the need for innovation and creativity in UK higher education over the next few years. The UK is facing a really exciting and challenging demand over the next few years due to demographic changes in the UK student makeup and also international application trends, as we can see through evidence from organisations like the Higher Education Policy Institute and also UCAS and their tracking of international student and home student applications. So this is a really great potential success story for the UK, with demand from home students and international students increasing. But also, of course, it brings a key challenge in terms of how we meet the demand and how we provide the supply of education from our limited resources. This requires innovation in modes of delivery and accessibility. We need to address the diverse needs of our UK students at the same time as addressing the needs of international students and our international community, because of course we want to serve both audiences. We need to draw on sector experience in regional and civic strategies and also on global engagement strategies across the UK, both of which we have expertise in. But getting the balance right is no mean feat, and we have to really look at how we balance and make our market forces contend with the availability and resources that we have. So let's look at national responsibilities and international benefits. So I want to think about the responsibilities we have to our UK students and our UK economy and UK employers, as well as the international benefits that we have facing us in terms of continued collaboration with international markets, international countries, and welcoming international students to the UK. So, of course, when we look at our home students and our need to upskill the local community and build skills for future careers, this is, of course, a very key duty for UK higher education, perhaps our most core duty. And we can see across the university sector lots of exciting activity focusing on widening participation, the need for us to commit to improving social mobility, also the advent of OFS and the creation of access and participation plans, which encourage universities to identify ways of bringing in people from a broader cross-section of the community to benefit from university study. More recently, we've seen the government's lifetime skills guarantee and also the forthcoming prospect of the lifelong learning entitlement, which means that more people may be able to gain loans to study throughout their lifetimes in terms of benefiting from higher education in new ways beyond the current loan systems, perhaps also learning in different ways, in different chunks of opportunity during the course of a life. When we look at international students and the international benefits of collaborating, we can see from the Higher Education Policy Institute that international students, of course, bring a huge financial benefit to the UK economy, but also international students undeniably bring educational benefits through the diversity and the curriculum internationalisation which they offer to our classrooms and our universities across the UK. More recently, we've seen organisations like UKISA, the UK Council for International Student Affairs, focus on their We Are International Charter for international students, which gives universities key areas to focus on in providing welcoming environments for international students and making the voices of international students heard. And also, of course, international education provides a key channel for something called knowledge diplomacy, which means it enables our countries to collaborate, bringing different minds together from different nations to focus on solving international problems and therefore strengthening international relations between countries. And what we're trying to avoid in all of this is a difficult balancing act where we're needing to resource the education of our home students and that of our incoming international students, maintaining a welcome for both groups and avoiding the unnecessary rhetoric of tug of war between limited places for one group over another. And so we need to find a solution that helps us to build capacity given limited resources, using some of the innovative tools that we already have available to us. So the problem of rising demand, how do we meet the rising demand? We need a different form of higher education which addresses varying needs for UK and international students. We need to meet diverse learning needs through creative mechanisms, and we need to expand our admissions capacity. UCAS tells us that there will be 1 million applicants to UCAS for university places in the UK by 2025. And my view is the answer lies in the extension of educational delivery through diverse modes of learning and teaching in the lifelong learning space and also in international education. So what are the potential solutions? Let's think of the potential solutions that we have. And I think if we look at innovation in its nascent forms already within the UK, we can see some of those solutions already available to us. So if we look at UK higher education and some of the strides that we've made there in inclusivity and providing education in new ways, we can see the universities and wider sectors' engagement with higher end degree apprenticeships through the university's activity focusing on work-based learning, collaborating with employers and creating opportunities to study alongside the world of work. These opportunities also come with creative delivery opportunities, given the need for work and study to fit together. Also, more recently, we've seen developments in micro-credentials and other forms of learning, again linking to the forthcoming lifelong learning entitlement, which we hope will open up funding for people to study in these smaller chunks in creative ways as we go forward. So perhaps these new forms of learning can reduce the impact on a state, perhaps make use of online learning opportunities and create opportunities to build capacity within the UK sector, which will serve that need to help educate more people in the years to come. Then also, if we look at international, we can see great work that's been taking place over the last 20 years in collaboration between UK universities and the private sector for the delivery of pathways to higher education and also for collaborative ventures for recruitment and activity, as well as more and more we see transnational education as a combination between UK higher education providers and private colleges in the UK. This can also move into other forms of transnational education delivered directly by universities, which maybe allow more students to study a UK degree without coming to the UK and enabling capacity in this way. And I've mentioned online learning. That probably sits, I think, in the middle between these two areas, because online learning could be an enabler for both of these sides of things, given the limited capacity or the speed of growth that we have to move towards. But of course, the online learning space is also a challenging area. We have seen in recent years and months challenges in that space in the sector, where more and more organisations are moving into that space, and interest in online programme management organisations collaborating with universities growing and growing. So some potential options there, but also all of those areas come with their own challenges. I'm not seeking to underestimate the investment required or the work that needs to focus on these areas. And if anything, over the last few years with the pandemic, we have seen how the university sector really can innovate when it needs to. We need to channel some of that energy and expertise that we've developed over those few years and the understandings of how we can move our education system when we need to enable that new type of innovation to take place. So let's think about some concluding thoughts in this area. We've seen what the issue is. We've identified some possible solutions, albeit which present their own challenges. We really need to look at our existing tools. So I think what we can see is that we do have innovative activity already there, and we need to really expand on that and develop that so we can see ways of finding a solution that will allow us to serve the UK market and the international market in different ways as we move towards this area of rapid growth in the next few years. In following this approach, we could then be able to help our stakeholders in the UK and overseas without having this tussle or tug of war of places for one but places for not other groups, because ideally we want to be able to serve both of our audiences in this way. So in following this approach, we can identify innovative access routes for home and international students. We can offer workforce development opportunities to UK and international employers, and alleviate the pressure of delivery platforms or a state that we have limited capacity to expand in the time available if we look at online learning mechanisms. And more importantly, it will enable us to maintain our commitment to both UK students and the benefits of having diverse international students in our classrooms, and make sure that we are collaborating with organisations, employers and countries around the world in a way that will serve us well for our future development. Thank you very much.